Did you guys miss me? What's going on, everybody? It's your buddy, it's your pal Spaz, Phoenix, the YWC Reality Check, and I'm back. I told you guys I was going to be away for a week. I've been away for a week. I actually had people messaging me, asking me if I was dead and stuff, which on one hand is kind of flattering, on the other hand kind of concerning, because that's a big jump. I've only been gone a week. Went on a trip, been out of town, went to hang out with the amazing and gorgeous Steffi Sunshine, who you all know and remember when I hosted the No Holds Barred show. She was my co-host. Went down to the States, saw the band Hailstorm, which are the beginning and end musics of most of my videos, at the House of Blues in Boston. Had a particularly fantastic time. Saw the next Avengers movie as well, which I recommend to all of you. So to those of you that took rather drastic notice that I was gone, thank you for that. I am back. I'm not dead. The plane didn't crash, etc., etc., etc. And there was no bombings in Boston, and that's also a thing. I want to give you guys a couple quick thoughts about Payback before I get into Raw later tonight, because it's a stat day in Canada and I have an opportunity to do this. On the pre-show, we had Truth versus Stardust, and there's not much to say to this other than the fact that if these guys were given a lot more chance to show how good they were, this was a good match. This was a really good match. Cody Rhodes and Ron Killings should be doing something. Even this rivalry that they're having right now could be something on the main roster if WWE let it be something on the main roster, but the match was good. R-Truth won, which I'm assuming is going to be like some sort of Cody Rhodes can't get a win, so he's got to go back to being Cody Rhodes type storyline going on down the way. I don't think this is a huge push for R-Truth by any stretch of the imagination. Ascension defeated the Mega Powers, and this is something I didn't get a chance to talk about last week because I wasn't here. The Mega Powers, Axelmania and Macho Mandow. Why are you beeping at me? This should not be a thing. I'm tired, guys. The Mega Powers, Macho Mandow and Axelmania. It's a fun little comedy shtick, but if they ever shed the gimmicks, which as I say are quite amusing, I think Sandow and Axel could be a decent team just as Sandow and Axel. The fact that Axel came out in like the full Hulk Hogan tights and even had the Fu Manchu or whatever the hell Hogan's mustache is called, and the bandana with the fake blonde hair, and Sandow with his mannerisms and his ability to mimic is friggin' great, but they got destroyed by the Ascension, so maybe this was a one-night only thing for the Mega Powers, but the Ascension got a win, and that'll do something for them, I suppose. Maybe it will lead to a certain pay-per-view coming up in 2 weeks. Just putting that out there. We'll talk about that in a bit. Sheamus defeated Dolph Ziggler, and, you know, people say this match has happened a lot. This match happens a lot because it's good. These guys kill each other. I could do without, like, Ziggler coming out all jean jacket and headbands and all looking all, like, 80s rocker, whatever, because I don't know why it's sort of happening out of nowhere. But it's good. And you got Ziggler, who's usually pretty comedic and usually pretty, you know, high-flying and fun when he starts off the match, and he just pounds the living crap out of Sheamus, which is what you expect from Sheamus. Sheamus did an interview where, or not an interview, but a Q&A session in the pre-show where people were tweeting questions, and somebody asked him why he did what he did to his hair. His hair is about his transformation, and it's meant to intimidate his opponents. Yeah, but he did destroy. He did destroy Dolph Ziggler. Ziggler looked strong the whole match, but he got destroyed. And it was Ziggler did his own undoing because he went to headbutt Sheamus and busted himself open hard way, which, I mean, if you go on .com, you can see him getting stitched up afterwards. But the amount of blood that filled that ring in a very, very short period of time, obviously I'm not asking the guy to go out there and hurt himself for real. That's not my point. But it made the match look better, and it made Ziggler look more valiant, I guess you could say, in loss than if he had just lost to a typical, like, headbutt and a kick. But it's like, okay, you headbutted him, and you busted yourself open, and even that didn't do it. You still had to get one more kick to the head to lose. I like that in the match, Ziggler made Sheamus kiss his ass, which is a long overdue ticket from last month. Receipt, as they say, from last month. I think that sort of capped that off quickly, so we don't have to keep going, and we don't have to keep every promo that Sheamus does afterwards end in "Kiss Me Arse." can we just please be done with that? That makes the promos kind of awkward. There was even a "this is awkward" chant at some point in the match too, which I thought the crowd was great. The crowd was absolutely fantastic. Let me put that in there as well. But the blood, even though it was real, even though I don't want people to really hurt themselves, made the match look better in the end. It made Ziggler look better in the end too, because yeah, he lost, but it's like, what do you want him to do? His head split open. Good match. Kid and Cesaro versus the New Day, I almost want to say stole the show. Power of Big E and Cesaro on full display. Big E's spear that he does from inside the ring to outside of the ring to the floor is always a cool thing to see. On the other side of the coin, you've got Kofi Kingston and Tyson Kidd bringing the more high energy, the more high amped, high flying type of thing. So you've got a very you got a dynamic in the match where the match will either be slowed down to a slow, methodical, brutal pace, and then one guy gets a tag, and the whole pulse of the match goes through the roof. And it's a great little dynamic, and Xavier Woods trying to get involved on the outside. Natty didn't get too involved, but Natty did look damn good. I mean, she's slowly going in this sort of like S&M dominatrix direction with her look, and I hope that transfers into the ring and she just goes and starts destroying people, Cameron and Naomi and all them. But no, it was a great match. You know, obviously one team gets a win, and they go down to the rubber match. The way it ended, Xavier Woods going in there and getting the roll up, and the referee thinking it was Kofi Kingston. I know a lot of people rolled their eyes at this, and a lot of people don't like it, and a lot of people say that it's WWE being racist, etc. WWE's smart, in a sense, because they have a direction that they could go with this that is really, really interesting, and you could play the race card a little bit. Not that you want to go out there and have a referee say, oh, well, they all look the same, it's not my fault. But you could say that, you know, you could have New Day go out tomorrow night and say, you know, the man's trying to keep us down, and you know what, if you're so ignorant and you think we all look the same enough that you gave us the victory last night, then you fucking deserve it, and rah. The fact that this is a situation where the fact that they won could piss them off, because they only won because, you know, the ignorant man is saying that, you know, all black people look the same. They have a creative direction that they could go with this victory, where they use their victory to fuel their anger and build their heel characters, and I really hope they go with it. Raw's going to be on in about 8 hours, and they're going to prove me wrong, but they have potential. At this point, they have potential to do something really cool here that I don't think they're going to do. Wyatt defeated Ryback, and this match was awkward because both of the guys did high-flying stuff, and they're big guys, and the rumor is that Ryback, when he did his splash, hurt his elbow, hurt his shoulder, did something like that, because he basically landed like a table on his knees and on his elbows, which is never good. Wyatt is reckless with his body all the time, so that's really not surprising. And Wyatt gets the win. Now everybody's saying that the only reason Wyatt got the win is because they're reuniting the Wyatt family. Two things I have to say to that. First of all, no, as far as you know right now, WWE gave Wyatt a win, which you all say that WWE never does. Oh, WWE never lets Wyatt win. If they let him win, it's because they're doing this and this. No. WWE gave Wyatt a win, so your argument is null and void. Oh, they're burying Wyatt and rah, and da-da-da. So it's so disrespectful to have him up against somebody like Ryback. It's bullshit. And they don't have to put the Wyatt family back together. I don't think they should put the Wyatt family back together, because friggin' as soon as they put the Wyatt family back together, all of Wyatt's wins are going to look like they're through cowardly means or through needing backup or whatever. Right now, on his own, he might be a heel, he might use heelish tactics, but any victory he got on his own. Whereas you put the Wyatt family back together, every match he has is now a 3-on-1. And then he ends up looking like the cowardly heel. And that is what's not going to help his character. I do agree, Rowan and Harper, put them together as a tag team, but let them exist in a tag team. Again, we're going to get to the tag team situation in a couple of weeks, in a moment. But the match was awkward as fuck. There were some good moments, obviously, but for the most part, just the crowd were behind Ryback at one point, and Wyatt got the Cena treatment with the "Let's go Wyatt, Wyatt sucks." which is a little discerning, I'm not gonna lie. Overall, Wyatt defeated Ryback. I will say that, yeah, if Ryback had won this match, then I would say, okay, Wyatt's in trouble. But he's not. He destroyed Ryback. Cena versus Rusev. This was a bad match. This was, especially when they went up into the crowd, there was a spot that was supposed to break a table, and it didn't, and it just got awkward because they had to reposition the table in such a way that it didn't look like a fuck-up. There was a powerbomb spot through. They even said it on commentary, look, it's an old-school guardrail. Now, here's my problem with this. They have those black, seamless guardrails around the entire ring now that admittedly aesthetically do look a lot better than the guardrails, because the guardrails just look like you're at the zoo, really. But to have one section of guardrail just standing around there for no reason kind of makes it hard to suspend your disbelief, if I'm honest. But the way that it bent, and the way that it bent so much when Cena hit it, rather than maintaining its composure, made it look fake. It's wrestling, and wrestling is fake, and we know this, but it made it look very, very fake. The spot was bad. The Alabama Slam through the angled table in the crowd looked decent. What I will say, and I know everybody thinks it's cheesy, I will always pop for a pyro spot where they get suplexed or they get powerbombed or AA'd or whatever onto the pyro setup. Because at least, as soon as the guy gets up and he's got no burns on him whatsoever, obviously it reinforces that it's fake. Again, makes it impossible for you to suspend your disbelief. But in the moment that guy hits the box and all the explosions go off, for that split second, it is an awesome visual thing. So I will give them 100% credit for that. Cena being knocked out and Rusev thinking he won because Cena was knocked out kind of makes Rusev look like an idiot. Rusev being distracted so many times by Lana and not being defeated a lot quicker by John Cena kind of makes John Cena look like a bit of a doofus. But Rusev having to wake Cena up and then taking apart the ring. The whole idea of taking apart the ring is one of those things that's cool, but every time I see it, I wish I hadn't seen it before. Now, does that make sense, or am I alone on that one? It's a cool looking spot, but because we've seen it so many times, it's less and less and less cool. You look at the WWE ring, and that is the shape of your world, or us as fans. That is the shape of your world. Once they start literally changing the shape of your world, it has a cool effect on how the match looks and whatever. If we remember the match that John Cena and I want to say Alberto Del Rio had after Big Show and Mark Henry broke the ring. They had to fight in a broken ring. It was new territory for everybody. It was new territory for the wrestlers, obviously. But it was new territory for the fans watching it, because the shape of our world changed. As soon as you start taking apart the ring, the shape of our world changed. When Nexus debuted, yes, Nexus went down the toilet, but when Nexus debuted, they completely took apart the ring. That changed the shape of our world. But, as I say, when you do something like Rusev did in this match, every time I see it, I wish I hadn't seen it before. But he goes to try to attack John Cena with the turnbuckle, with the big turnbuckle bolt. He misses. Cena puts him in the STF using the rope. He didn't choke him out like he did a couple of years ago. There was another match. I think it was with Randy Orton again. Correct me down in the box below if I'm wrong. But he had him in the STF where his hands would have been against his face and cheek. It was on his nose. So I think the commentary quite quickly, they went to the idea that the ropes are harder than they look and it could break Rusev's nose. That was a nice cover by I don't give commentary a lot of credit a lot of the time, but that was a nice little cover for the fact that this just looked really silly. And predictably, Lana jumps in the ring and quits for Rusev, which she's done before, and then we see dissension between Rusev and Lana in the back, etc., etc., etc. We're going for the whole, he's going to treat her like crap until she leaves him, and apparently Vince McMahon wants to turn her into some character named TJ, who is supposed to be reminiscent of the characters from Baywatch, which I might be an asshole, but I'm totally okay with. If we want to turn Lana into the next Pamela Anderson, that's what's best for business. Cena wins. Cena's going to go in very damaged tomorrow night, or sorry, should I say tonight, in about 7 or 8 hours, and do the United States Open Challenge once again. makes you think that somebody is going to take advantage of a weakened John Cena and Roddy Raw. Tamina and Naomi defeated the Bellas. Of course they did. Now let me talk about a couple of things here. Let me talk about the fact that Tamina should be on her own, because Tamina was wrecking shop in this match. Tamina, I think originally, somebody's going to correct me down in the box below again if I'm wrong, but Tamina originally came in with the Usos, and then she was a bodyguard for AJ, which was fine, because AJ was doing the whole Shawn Michaels Diesel thing, but now they're trying to recapture that lightning in a bottle with Naomi, and it's just not working. Tamina should be out on her own. Naomi split from the Funkadactyls when Cameron turned heel. Now that she's heel too, would you not just put her back with Cameron? Because they're about on the same level. But one thing I will say for Cameron is Cameron doesn't botch nearly as much as Naomi does. Everybody's saying Naomi should be the next Divas champion. She botches at least once a match. She lands on her ass, she'll mess up a flip, she'll do something. This time there was a pinning reversal sequence, or a backflip reversal sequence, or I forget what type of sequence. It was a sequence of multiple moves, whatever it was, and she dropped Brie Bella on her head. Like, fuck off, seriously. On her head. I know everybody's gonna be like, oh, it's fine, it's just gonna get rid of the Bellas, and the Bella hate will bubble and fester, and all of a sudden it'll be okay that somebody gets damaged. You know, all the people that defended Rey Mysterio will defend this too. That's fine. But at the end of the day, she could have broken Brie's neck. Let's be real about this. Let's be 100% on point with this. What I will say is that Nikki and Brie did lose, but Nikki is my fucking hero, because she did in fact kick out after receiving the chocolate camel toe of death from Naomi. I don't remember what actually got the win, but it wasn't that. Oh yes. Bullshit win for Naomi. The new character. This new, like, I'm a mini version of Karma. My shoes light up, so I'm cool. Why are we beefing right now? Why? If anything, the other three women in this match, and I don't rate Tamina enough, really, but the other three women in this match, Brie, Nikki, and Tamina, looked great. Naomi, just fuck off my TV. Just do it. Neville versus Barrett was the semi-main, which is cool for Neville, because he just came up from NXT. King Barrett doing all of his King Barrett stuff, I guess, with the scepter and the robe. And yes, eventually it will get old, but right now it's kind of cool, it's kind of campy, it is what it is, it's kind of gimmicky. Neville ran circles around Barrett the entire match. They told a cool story, too, because we all know that at the finals of the King of the Ring, these guys fought, and what happened was Neville went for something high-flying, and Barrett nailed him with the bullhammer. The story in this match was Barrett going for the bullhammer a lot, and Neville being able to avoid it, and being faster, being quicker, being able to outsmart Barrett. They both got injured. They were both on the outside, and at one point, Neville got himself back in the ring, really selling a leg injury pretty well, and Barrett walked away, giving him the win, and everybody's kind of like, what the fuck? But he came back in after the match, tried to get a couple cheap shots in. Neville still got the better of it, and while selling a leg injury, still managed to hit the red arrow. So, full points for Neville in this match. Looked like a beast. He does that delayed deadlift belly-to-back suplex, which looks really good, especially on a guy the size of Barrett. Gave him the red arrow while he was in all of his royal garb and whatnot. So, he was still wrapped up in his robe, and the scepter broke, and just all kinds of fucking awesome. Hey, you think you're a king? That's meaningless. It's fantastic. Rollins retains the WWE World Heavyweight Championship against Ambrose and Reigns and Orton. There was a lot of cool shit in this match. They teased the reunion of the Shield. They did do the Shield triple bomb, which I liked. When Rollins thought that the Shield was getting back together, he put his fist out, and the other two just sort of sit there and shake their heads at him and beat the hell out of him, put him on a table, and then Ambrose and Reigns double bomb Kane through through Rollins twice. We got a good little segment of this match that was just Ambrose versus Rollins, because they look at all the carnage that they've created. Kane had been interfering the whole time. J&J Security had been interfering the whole time. RKO's for J&J Security, the big powerbomb for Kane on Rollins. And I think it's kind of funny because they have the cameras in really close and they have a really good little back and forth. And he says, "Oh, there's only one thing left to do." And one of them says there's only one thing left to do, and the other one says, "All right, loser buys the beers." And then they just go in and have their own match. It's just, you know, face on face doesn't last forever. We know this. But Ambrose versus Reigns as a match, sort of on its own within this match, was a good little bit of business. You know, finishers. Eventually Orton and Rollins do get back in. There's a bunch of melee, a whole bunch of finishers go down here, there, and everywhere. And Rollins, who still can't really decide on a finisher, finishes off Randy Orton with the pedigree, and Triple H is there to congratulate him at the end. Great little match. Overbooked to hell, obviously. Triple H being there to celebrate in the end. Kane being involved the whole match. Kane's involvement and Kane's attempted assists for Rollins, you know, taking out Reigns at one point, taking out Orton at one point, taking out Ambrose at one point. J&J Security. J&J Security are looking less and less like stooges and more like they're still kind of legit in situations like this, which I really like. But Kane's involvement, obviously, on Rollins' behalf, sort of undoes all the storyline that they've been doing on Raw and SmackDown in the past several weeks. So that's kind of unfortunate. Hopefully there's going to be a turning of the coat tonight on Raw. But as a whole, other than the two matches in the middle, actually, no. I can't say that, because the Divas match was crap. And Wyatt versus Ryback was crap, and Cena versus Rusev was... Top and bottom were great, the middle kind of sucked. So, I don't do star ratings or anything like that, but it was an okay show. Watch it once, you'll enjoy it. You probably won't watch it again. Anyways, I will see you guys in a bit for Raw. And we're back once again. What's going on, everybody? It's your buddy, it's your pal, Spaz Phoenix, the YWC Reality Check, here with your Raw review. Did you have a nice little break there? Did you get a sandwich? Did you get a drink like I... No, because you came here right from the last video. Why would I say something like that? Because I'm a very, very strange person. Something I forgot to mention over in the other portion when I was talking about Payback, whatever. Not really sure why. Somebody piqued my interest. Don't know if I'll use it or not, but for the hell of it, I got myself an Instagram. Take a wild guess. You know, 3 guesses. The first 2 don't count. Look me up, Instagram, @SpazPhoenix. Going into tonight's Raw, I watched the pre-show. I know a lot of people don't, or at least they say that they don't. We knew that we were going to get the Cena Open Challenge. We were going to get Seth Rollins, Architect of a Dream. Basically... the Authority kissing Seth Rollins' ass for maintaining the championship. We were going to see a tag team title rematch from the pay-per-view with Woods banned so that we wouldn't get any of that. I sound really gross right now, don't I? That's horrible. With Xavier Woods banned so that we don't get any more New Day twin magic. And we're going to get Nikki versus Naomi for the title, which makes me nervous, I'm not going to lie. Triple H versus Stephanie start the show. There's a table in the ring with a cloth over it with what looks like a belt under it, so I think they're going to give Seth Rollins a new belt. Not the case, but they come out, they welcome everybody to the show. Immediately in the crowd, I see a sign that makes me happy that says, Dean Ambrose escaped from Arkham Asylum. Made me smile a lot. They do a lot of promoting of Seth Rollins. They reinforce that Roman, Dean, and Randy all failed last night at the pay-per-view, and now they are at the back of the line as far as the title shot goes. They turn their attention to the Intercontinental Championship, and they say, unlike Daniel Bryan's career, the show must go on, which is fucking fantastic. They announced the Intercontinental Elimination Chamber match. They show Elimination Chamber highlight video, and they do a lot of plugging of the network, which a lot of people will bitch about, but in this case, apparently Elimination Chamber is a network-only show, so that if you're going to plug the network, that's a good time to do it, is it not? Sheamus comes out with immediate you look stupid chance, says he's a big fan of the Authority, says you don't need to do a chamber match at the Elimination Chamber for the Intercontinental Championship. I ended Daniel Bryan. Let's look at the video. Why don't you just give the Intercontinental Championship to me? Ryback comes out. There's a lot of feed me more chants. He says, God, you look stupid, Sheamus, which is great. He says, you like picking on little guys. We saw what you did to Ziggler last night. You busted him open, etc., etc. Why don't you come challenge the big guy? Steph announces that they both are already in the Intercontinental Elimination Chamber match, and Triple H says, why don't you guys have a match right now? first match of the night is, surprise, surprise, Sheamus versus Ryback. Sheamus goes for Ryback's ribs right away. Ryback's ribs are taped up from his match the night before with Bray Wyatt. There we go. My brain is just not working right now. That's fine. But he's all wrapped up. He's selling the rib injury. He's selling the sore midsection, etc. Fez pressed by Ryback and he starts basketballing. I'm going to call it basketballing because there's no other real way to say it. When he does the Fez press and then he just starts picking the guy's head up and bouncing it off the ring mat. It looks like a basketball, so that's what I'm going to call it. Sheamus eats turnbuckle and Ryback chops him hard. Snapmare by Ryback and some stomps. Irish curse backbreaker by Sheamus working the ribs. It's fantastic. Sheamus slams Ryback ribs first on the guardrail. Ryback makes his way back up to the apron. Sheamus tackles Ryback from the apron to the guardrail in a nice little spot. This is something you would see in a high flyers match because, you know, they would take the bump and they would fly and they would know how to land whatever. It's not something you expect from a big guy like Ryback, so I'm going to give him extra props for that. We come back from the commercial break and both men are down. They're trading punches from the knees. Sheamus goes for the 10 beats of the Bowery, once again working the midsection. But Ryback is able to, you know, muster up or hulk up or whatever you want to say and turn it into a powerbomb. Boot by Sheamus, spinebuster by Ryback. Sheamus bails. Sorry, I can't read my writing, guys. It sucks a lot. A slam by Ryback on Sheamus on the commentator table. Sheamus goes back to working the ribs. Again, Sheamus eats post on the outside. Sheamus escapes shell shock and hits a brogue kick. Sheamus wins. 4 other chamber members will be announced later tonight, says Michael Cole. The Authority celebrates. In the back, Rollins is kissing ass. Rollins mocks Kane. Ambrose comes in and crashes the party. He crashes the party. He challenges Rollins for a match at the Elimination Chamber. But the way he does it is kind of funny. He says, you know, you didn't beat me last night, and the last time we faced each other, I beat you. So I'm going to be a nice guy. I'm going to give you a rematch. All you have to do is put your title on the line. It's great. It's wonderful, wonderful stuff. And he turns his attention to Kane, saying that Undertaker and Paul Bearer would be very ashamed of what he's become, which is fucking fantastic. Kane responds in typical corporate Kane fashion by making Ambrose versus Bray Wyatt tonight. Neville is in the ring getting ready for his match. He gets interviewed by Renee Young first. He says nothing compares to competing in the WWE. He does a whole lot of little dog in the big fight type cliche stuff. He's interrupted by Bo Dallas. He calls Neville's story a kid's story, but in this case he's the little engine that couldn't. Neville reaches back in time and happens to mention that when he started his record NXT title reign, he took the title off of Bo Dallas. Bo Dallas attacks, works over the knee, which he's been selling since last night, and then bails. But he only bails to commentary when we get Neville versus King Barrett. Again. Front face lock by Neville, a roll up and a near fall by Neville, boots in the corner by Barrett. Barrett works on Neville's legs on the ropes and tying them up in the ropes and, you know, beating them against the apron. And as we go to commercial break, Neville selling this injured leg the same way he's been doing last night looks fucking great. Comes back from commercial break. We got kicks by Neville. Barrett works the bad knee in the leg a lot. Barrett grapevines the leg and has him in somewhat of a heel pick or an ankle lock type position. Not in the way that you would see somebody like a Kurt Angle or a Ken Shamrock do, but it is a form of an ankle lock with a leg vine involved. It's all fine. It's all wonderful. Kicks and an attempt at a delayed deadlift belly to back suplex by Neville, but the knee fails. You're on the ground and your knee fails. So what does logic say? Let's go to the sky. He goes for a springboard something, and his knee fails. Bullhammer and King Barrett gets the win. Bo Dallas attacks after the match with elbow drops to the knee and a DDT to the leg. I will say this, and I don't care that it's Bo Dallas, I don't care that it's Neville, I don't care who it is. Every time somebody working a leg, and I know it's supposed to have a ripping and tearing effect on the joints of the leg and whatever, anybody in wrestling history that has ever done a DDT to the leg looks awkward. You cannot pull off that move and have it not look awkward. I'm just putting that out there. We're going to get Neville versus Bo Dallas sometime later on down the line. If their matches at NXT were any indication, I have no problem with this whatsoever. Rusev, and I've written down a lot, but basically Rusev comes out and bitches and does what he thought we all thought he was going to do. Talks about how he didn't quit, how Lana had no place out there. She needs to learn her place. Cena did not beat me. I made him pass out. Lana comes out and says, "You're not who you seem to be. I want people to see who I see. You're a nice guy. That's why I wanted to protect you. I didn't want you to get broken." Rusev finishes off the segment more or less with, "I don't need you. Go back to wherever you came from." To which I respond on Twitter with, "Like sands through the hourglass, these are the days of our Russian lives." This segment, I know what they're trying to do, but it was not great. It's going to get us to some good things, and we'll talk about those good things later on, but this segment wasn't good. Ambrose versus Wyatt for a total flip of the coin, just something that's absolutely fantastic. Collar and elbow tie-up, fists and fire by Wyatt, and a throwdown to Ambrose. Running low clothesline by Ambrose, a modified STF clawing the face by Ambrose, which is always, he's got him tied up in the STF, but instead of just, a typical, like, finger lace or however you would normally apply the STF, he's pulling at his face, he's pulling at his cheeks and his nostrils and his eye sockets, and it's a Dean Ambrose move, for sure. Ambrose works the hand and the arm and the shoulder all in quick succession with some modified arm bar, mat work, which you don't expect out of the Lunatic Fringe. We get a "Let's go Ambrose, let's go Wyatt" chant, and it's loud and it's nice. Stomps by Ambrose, running boot to Ambrose while he's on his knees. I can't read my writing, guys. I watched this a bit ago. This is a 3-hour show. This was 3 hours ago. I can't read my own writing from 3 hours ago. It's fine. A running boot to Ambrose while he's on his knees, a headlock by Wyatt, a corner clothesline by Wyatt, and a corner splash by Ambrose in sort of a anything you can do, I can do better type of corner spot. Dean Ambrose hits a suicide dive that Wyatt meets with a right hand, leaving Ambrose kind of out of it and hung up on the second rope with his top half hanging out of the ring. Wyatt takes him from that position, from that draped over the second rope position, and vertical suplexes him from that position to the floor. Nice, neat little spot. We go to commercial break. Front face lock and headbutts by Wyatt. When we come back, vertical suplex toss by Wyatt. A double clothesline out of the ring. Double clothesline happens outside the ring, leaving both men down. They trade punches in the ring. There's a crossbody and a couple of punches by Ambrose. A drop kick to Wyatt in the ropes by Ambrose. A suicide dive that is successful this time around by Ambrose. A drop kick to Wyatt into the ropes by Ambrose. I'm reading that twice. Why? Rebound clothesline that's met by a Wyatt lariat. So, you get all the muster of Dean Ambrose going for that awesome rebound clothesline that he does, but Wyatt turns around last second and just wallops him with a heavy, stiff friggin' lariat that looks amazing. Rebound clothesline by Ambrose hits its mark the second time around. Wyatt misses the second rope senton, which looks like a painful spot, but J&J Security, of all people, get involved and basically throw Ambrose into a Sister Abigail position, and Wyatt gets the win. New Day versus Cesaro and Kid. And sometime in the process of this match, commentary announces that 5 of the 6 participants of the Intercontinental Elimination Chamber have been announced. They are, along with Sheamus and Ryback, Rusev, Barrett, and R-Truth. We will find out the 5th competitor later on tonight. But New Day versus Cesaro and Kid. New Day versus Cesaro and Kid. Cesaro and Big E start off the match. A press slam by Big E and a stalling vertical suplex by Cesaro. Running head scissor off of the apron by Tyson Kidd, which looks fucking fantastic. Tyson Kidd doing anything after you've been watching the slower, bigger, stronger guys work for a couple minutes always looks a little bit extra fantastic. Coming back from the commercial break, Big E's got an abdominal stretch on Cesaro. Follows that up with a belly to belly and an Orton-style snap slam by Cesaro. Springboard elbow by Kid, sharpshooter on Kofi Kingston, but Big E breaks it up with a cheap shot. New Day double team Tyson Kidd to the point where the match is thrown out. Match ends kind of abruptly because it's double teaming, match is over. Cesaro comes back in with a suplex on Big E and a spinebuster on Kofi. Xavier Woods gets involved before they can set up the spin, and we have a 3-on-2 brawl. Soon, out of nowhere, seemingly, the Lucha Dragons join the brawl. Los Matadors join the brawl. The Ascension join the brawl. Primetime players join the brawl. And they all brawl. Eventually, Primetime players get to stand tall at the end because they're making their triumphant return actually to the ring, so they get to look good. They do their millions of dollars, shucking and jiving thing, whatever. And it's announced on commentary right then and there, that the tag team title Elimination Chamber match at the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view will be the Ascension versus the Matadors versus the Lucha Dragons versus the New Day versus Kid and Cesaro versus the Primetime Players. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't incredibly intrigued by how this match is going to go. There's no way that they are going to have all 12 guys in the ring at once. There's been a lot of jokes made about New Day and how they're going to get all 3 of them into one pod. So if they're going to do some kind of Freebird thing, then cool, but that could get awkward. I mean, but on the other hand, Viscera has gone in a pod. Anyways, moving on. Viscera could have been part of the New Day. That could have been a thing. But anyways, John Cena's Open Challenge didn't happen. But this did happen, which was awesome. Cena came out for the Open Challenge and talked a lot about Rusev and about America and about the US title and blah-de-blah-de-blah-de-blah-de-blah. His Open Challenge was answered by Kevin Owens. And they talk more and more, blah-de-blah. Kevin Owens coming out there with an attitude of, I don't need to introduce myself. If you know what you're talking about, you know who I am, and if you don't know who I am, you're a waste of my time. Cena stands up for the fans and how the fans are never a waste of time, and rah-de-rah-de-rah, and they talk about Sami Zayn, they talk about Unbreakable, which is this Wednesday, which is a nice, neat little way, you know, the big dog on NXT right now and the big dog in the WWE, both in the ring at the same time talking about the NXT show that's coming up on Wednesday. For those people who say that, you know, NXT doesn't get any time on the main roster, no recognition, etc., I point to this and I say kindly suck it. It's nice, but Owen says he's not going to take Cena up on his challenge. He's going to fight him on his own terms. Then he goes to say something else. And Kevin Owens puts a big smile on my face, hits the pop-up powerbomb on John fucking Cena, says, we will fight one day on my terms. And he leaves, but not before picking up both belts, both the NXT Championship and the US title, but then he drops the US title and steps on it like a dick, which is fucking awesome. Ziggler versus Stardust, which of course on Twitter brings up all the Ziggy Stardust jokes that are incredibly old. You know, we talk about the injury sustained at the pay-per-view, the big cut on his... The cut, okay, it's probably done up to look even worse than it is, but it was a pretty bad cut, and the cut, when he's out there, looks bad. It really does. So Stardust, obviously, because he's a heel, starts off with an elbow to the cut. Both men trade punches. Stardust stomps on the midsection, hits a clothesline. They trade a few more punches and a quick zigzag. Gets the win for Dolph Ziggler. But that's not the cool part. The cool part comes when Michael Cole comes to the ring, announces that Ziggler is getting the 6th spot in the Elimination Chamber, so that the Elimination Chamber for the Intercontinental Championship, coming up in 2 weeks, is Ziggler, Truth, Barrett, Rusev, Ryback, and Sheamus. Ziggler cuts a very energetic babyfacey promo about, you know, rising above and you know, persevering and all that sort of thing in a very cool Dolph Ziggler way. I just didn't write it all down, so I can't tell you word for word. But the fun part is, for reasons, Lana comes to the ring and makes out with Ziggler, and the crowd chants one more time, and Lana turns around and makes out with Ziggler. Again, Ziggler both times looking around the ring, thinking it's a setup, looking for Rusev, right. Rusev comes out, clobbers Ziggler, gets in Lana's face. Lana slaps him. The crowd chants one more time. But instead of another slap, Rusev gets a zigzag. Ziggler leaves with Lana. I really hope that this is her actually leaving Rusev, and it's not just another friggin' Swerve and Rusev and her are going to go do their own thing again. I hope that this is a quick thing, that she's going to side with Ziggler to get away from Rusev, and then she's going to go do her diva thing, because apparently she's good in the ring. I've never seen her in the ring. But people want this big separation between Lana and Rusev, and I want it to happen. I don't want them to tease it a bunch of times, because then, if it happens later on down the line, nobody's going to give a shit. If you're going to do it, do it. And doing it with Ziggler was fucking awesome. I think 5 or 6 people tweeted the same thing. There was a still shot of Ziggler and Lana making out. It's like, and the caption is like, that awkward moment where you'd give anything to be Dolph Ziggler. But yeah, that was the thing. Rowan and Harper versus the thrown together team of Fandango and Ryder. Oh yeah, because Fandango and Ryder stand a chance. Fandango and Harper start off the match. Chops in the corner by Fandango, a shoulder by Harper, a drop kick by Fandango. Fandango eats rail and boot on the outside, almost simultaneously. A splash by Rowan and mounted punches. A Rowan and Harper double team, a gator roll by Harper on Fandango. Running tornado DDT by Fandango, which is really nice. Elbows by Ryder, the little bit that he gets into the match. Black hole slam by Harper. And is really, really cool. Again, it's one of those situations where they haven't given it a name yet, but a super kick into a full Nelson slam combo by Harper and Rowan get Harper and Rowan the win. Everybody's cheering for Wyatt. Everybody on Twitter, everybody on Facebook is saying, here comes Wyatt, and it doesn't happen. And you know what? I'm okay with that. Let Wyatt do his thing. Let these guys as a tag team do their own thing. They're doing a good fucking job. It boggles my mind that Los Matadors are in the Elimination Chamber tag team match and these guys aren't, if I'm perfectly honest with you. Stephanie has a segment in the back with the Bellas making fun of Daniel Bryan some more, saying she's worried about Brie Bella's mental state, so that Brie Bella cannot be in her sister's corner when her sister faces Naomi later tonight, but Tamina will still be in Naomi's corner. I fear for the Divas Championship. Am I right to fear for the Divas Championship? Let's find out right now. Nikki versus Naomi with Tamina in her corner. Obviously, Naomi starts off the match by bouncing on the ropes. Because. For reasons. I'm lost here, guys. Starting off a match. What's the ring psychology of starting off the match by just bouncing on the ropes? Like an idiot. Slam by Nikki and a shoulder tackle, a kick by Naomi. Nikki tosses Naomi out of the ring. Nikki Bella hits a picture-perfect suicide dive on Naomi and Tamina. It is as good as you will see in the WWE. I don't care. I don't care what you think of the Bellas. I don't care why we're supposed to hate them. Nikki Bella hit a fucking suicide dive on Naomi and Tamina to send us to commercial break. Naomi rides a headlock for a long time because she's a bad guy and that's what bad guys do. Knee to the face by Nikki and multiple clotheslines. Nikki sets up for the rack attack. It's broken up by Tamina, which gets the disqualification win for Nikki, which means we did not see the chocolate camel toe of death tonight, which is fucking fantastic. Nikki wins by disqualification. Paige comes out while Nikki's down and takes out Naomi and Tamina by herself. Oh yes, Naomi, Tamina, Paige is back down to the bottom where you belong, you go. Oh fucking yes. But not only only does Nikki's sister not save her, not only does Paige take care of Naomi and Tamina single-handedly, what does she do before she leaves the ring? Rampage on Nikki, just because fuck you and give me my belt back. Oh ho ho, fuck and yes. Go to the back. We see Kevin Owens talking to Triple H, then we see Renee Young, who I cannot get enough of on this show, which is fucking fantastic, asks Kevin Owens what he was talking to Triple H about, and he says, quite simply, hey, I told John Cena I was going to fight him on my terms. I just talked to Triple H. I'm going to fight John Cena at the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view. Fucking yes. Shut up and take my money. Authority and Seth Rollins celebration is the ending segment. There's no Nikki Bella retaining the Divas Championship by disqualification was the main event match. Let that sink in for a second. But the Authority comes out, and Seth comes out, and they all celebrate, and rah-rah-rah-rah, and basically they make Kane apologize to him. He says, we don't see eye to eye, but that's because I'm a foot taller than you. I'm glad you're champion, and it's best for business. Seth Rollins says, is that all? With a big smile on his face, and Kane just sort of mumbles out, thank you for saving my job. They show a video package showing all the cool stuff from Seth Rollins, from FCW to NXT, to the NXT Championship, to the Shield, to currently, and winning the title at WrestleMania. It's a great little... I will always say, WWE does great with their video packages. I will always say that. Noble grabs the microphone, says, you know, there's a saying where I come from, the cream always rises to the top. We're all glad that Triple H put his faith in you. And then he says, you know, Mercury wants to say something too, but of course Mercury never gets to talk. He's cut off by Ambrose, who makes a couple Justin Bieber jokes. He says, I want my match or else. Stephanie says, well, you know, our Seth Rollins is a fighting champion. And she looks at Seth and says, you know, Seth, get him. And Seth Rollins kind of like, what the fuck? But then he goes after him. J&J Security go after him. Kane go after him. He takes them all out. Ambrose does, by himself, because he's fucking awesome. Goes to the side, pulls out the same cinder blocks that Rollins put him through, holds his head down on the blocks with a steel chair, says, give me the match or else. Stephanie McMahon gives in. Elimination Chamber, you've got your match, you versus Seth Rollins for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. And then things just go from there, and it's fucking awesome. But, Kane gets up, he weakens Ambrose just enough so that Seth Rollins can drag him back in the ring, hit him with a pedigree, and Seth Rollins can still look strong. Not a bad show overall, and if I say that right now, for a show that's only going to have 2 weeks of build, right now Elimination Chamber is Owens versus Cena, Sheamus versus Rusev versus Barrett versus Truth versus Ryback versus Sheamus in an Intercontinental Championship Elimination Chamber match. The New Day versus the Matadors versus the Lucha Dragons versus the Ascension versus Kid and Cesaro versus the Primetime Players in the first ever Tag Team Championship Elimination Chamber, and Rollins versus Dean fucking Ambrose as the main event. This show, I don't care what rabbit you want to pull out of your ass, this show is already looking pretty fucking great, and everything on this show did something to build towards this show. Everything had a purpose, everything had a function. I don't know, even the random thrown together tag match, it sort of solidifies that Rowan and Harper are back together. That's the only thing that didn't directly affect this particular pay-per-view. It's fucking great. We're gonna get Paige versus Nikki versus Naomi. I'm pretty damn sure of it. Throw in 3 more divas, have an Elimination Chamber match with them too. It's not going to happen, but a guy can dream, candy. I'm fucking tired. This is the end of my review. I've been Spaz, your YWC Reality Check. Subscribe up there, talk down there, start a conversation, keep all these conversations going. Don't be a stranger. I'll talk to each and every last one of you, but for right now, I'm tagging out. Bye, guys.